Right now, millions of people have food from Target in their kitchens that looks normal, tastes normal, and is sold as everyday groceries. But some of the products on those shelves contain ingredient systems that would never exist in a real kitchen. We examined some of Target's most popular foods, and what we found completely changes how that red aisle looks. Once you see what sits at the bottom of this list, the rest of Target's food aisles won't look the same. 12. Ultra-cheap frozen dinners. Let us start in the freezer aisle, where convenience meets compromise. Target's budget frozen meals look like a lifesaver after a long day. A few dollars for a complete dinner. Just microwave and eat. But behind that steam rising from the tray lies a recipe designed for logistics, not nutrition. Take a closer look at the ingredient panels on these ultra-cheap options, and you will find lists stretching 20, 30, sometimes 40 items long. Modified starches to survive freeze-thaw. Cycles. Sodium levels pushing 400 to 600 milligrams per serving. Artificial flavors to mask what the freezing process strips away. The protein portions are laughably small. A few shreds of chicken swimming in sauce, a scattering of beef crumbles buried under cheap pasta. When you cook these meals, the portions shrink further as water evaporates, leaving something that barely covers the tray bottom. Customer reviews mention the same complaints: bland taste, rubbery textures, chemical aftertaste. One frozen pasta dish from Good & Gather was described by shoppers as having no flavor despite containing over 1,500 milligrams of sodium across the package. That is nearly your entire daily limit in one disappointing meal. These products are not built to nourish you. They are built to survive months in a freezer, reheat without falling apart, and cost pennies to produce. Your body pays the price for that engineering. But frozen meals are just the start. Wait until you see what is hiding in those fresh-looking bowls in the refrigerated section. 11. Healthy, ready to eat. Bowls walk past the freezers, and you will find the chilled section stacked with bowls that promise balance, freshness, and nutrition. Words like protein-packed, veggie-forward, and wholesome splash across the packaging. But flip those containers over, and a different story emerges. Most of these ready-to-eat bowls are built on a base of refined grains. White rice, regular pasta, cheap noodles that spike your blood sugar and leave you hungry within the hour. The vegetables, when present, are token additions. A few shreds of carrot, a sprinkle of wilted spinach, maybe some edamame that adds color but barely contributes to nutrition. Then there are the sauces. That teriyaki glaze, that creamy dressing, that sweet chili drizzle. This is where hidden sugars and sodium pile up. One Nashville-style chopped salad kit from Good & Gather contains over 1,000 milligrams of sodium and 6 grams of added sugar once you factor in all components. That is nearly half your daily sodium in what looks like a healthy lunch. The stabilizers are another concern. Xanthan gum, modified food starch, cellulose. These ingredients extend shelf life and maintain texture during transport, but they have nothing to do with making your meal nutritious. They exist, so these bowls can sit in the cold case for days without falling apart. Shoppers report these bowls taste more processed than fresh, with flavors that seem muted or artificial despite premium pricing. The healthy marketing works beautifully on the shelf. The reality inside tells a different story. And if adult options are disappointing, wait until you see what is being packed into lunchboxes. 10. Store brand, snack packs, crackers, cheese snacks, and lunchbox packs. These are the grab-and-go staples that fill shopping carts every week. Easy to pack, easy to eat, easy to assume they are harmless, but these store brand snack packs are textbook examples of food engineering designed for one thing: making you eat more. The base of most cracker products is enriched wheat flour. That means refined, stripped of fiber, and designed to hit your bloodstream fast. Pair that with vegetable oils like soybean or palm, add sodium to amplify flavor, and you have a product that triggers your appetite rather than satisfying it. The cheese-flavored snacks are more concerning. Many contain cheese powder mixed with maltodextrin, artificial colors, and flavor enhancers that mimic real cheese without delivering protein or calcium benefits. You are essentially eating starch coated in chemistry. One serving of these snack crackers might contain 240 milligrams of sodium and only 2 grams of protein, but serving sizes are deliberately small, often 14 crackers or less. Nobody stops at 14 crackers. By the time you reach the bag bottom, you have consumed a significant portion of your daily sodium with almost no nutritional return. The texture engineering is calculated too. That satisfying crunch, that melt-in-your-mouth sensation. These are designed to bypass your fullness signals. You keep reaching for more because the product never tells your brain enough is enough. These snacks are not filling you up, they are filling Target's margins. And if snacks are this processed, imagine what the breakfast aisle has in store, because breakfast is where processing quietly becomes routine. 9. Budget breakfast. Foods mornings are rushed. Time is short. So those budget waffles, toaster pastries, and quick breakfast cups seem like a reasonable solution. Pop something in the toaster, eat on the go, and move on with your day. But what you are really starting your morning with is a sugar delivery system wrapped in clever marketing. Take the store brand frozen waffles. The first ingredient is typically enriched flour, followed by sugar, soybean oil, and a lineup of leavening agents and stabilizers. 2 waffles contain around 360 milligrams of sodium. Add the syrup most people pour on top, and you are looking at a breakfast that spikes your blood sugar hard and crashes it just as fast. The toaster pastries are worse. One pastry can contain up to 15 grams of sugar packed into a base of refined flour and vegetable shortening. The frosting adds more sugar, artificial colors, and preservatives. These products have been classified as ultra-processed foods linked to increased risk of heart disease, obesity, and metabolic disorders. The breakfast cups and instant options follow the same pattern. Quick cooking means pre-processed. Pre-processed means stripped of fiber and nutrients. What you are left with is convenience that costs you energy and focus by mid-morning. These foods are engineered for speed and shelf stability, not sustained nutrition. They fill a gap in your morning but leave your body running on empty. That is the pattern with budget breakfast. But wait until you see what is lurking in those bottles of dressing and sauce. 8. Bottled sauces and dressings. Salads and home-cooked meals feel healthier, so you grab a bottle of dressing or a jar of cooking sauce to add flavor without much effort. But those bottles are where simple meals quietly become calorie-dense disasters. Most store-brand salad dressings start with soybean oil as the first ingredient. This refined oil is cheap and shelf-stable, but it delivers inflammatory omega-6 fats without the benefits of olive oil or avocado alternatives. Following the oil comes a parade of added sugars, thickeners like xanthan gum, and preservatives to keep the product stable for months. One ranch dressing from Target contains high fructose corn syrup, monosodium glutamate, and multiple sodium-based preservatives. Each 2 tablespoon serving adds sodium, sugar, and processed fats that transform your healthy salad into something far less virtuous. The cooking sauces follow the same playbook: that teriyaki glaze, that barbecue sauce, that creamy pasta topper. Check the labels and you will find sugar often listed as the second or third ingredient. Sodium levels can reach 400 to 600 milligrams per serving, and those servings are often much smaller than what people actually use. Here's the uncomfortable truth. A simple grilled chicken breast becomes significantly less healthy once you pour one of these sauces over it. The bottle adds hidden sugars, cheap oils, and enough sodium to undermine all your good intentions. You are not adding flavor. You are adding problems. And if adults are being tricked, imagine what is happening with foods marketed directly at children. 7. Kids marketed foods. The packaging is bright. Cartoon characters smile from the box. Words like fun, nutritious, and kid-approved make parents feel good about their choices. But behind that colorful marketing lies a category of foods engineered around one principle: repeat purchase through craveability, not genuine nutrition. Kids marketed foods from store brands rely heavily on soft textures, mild sweetness, and familiar flavors that children will accept without resistance. This means refined flours, added sugars, and minimal fiber. The goal is not to nourish growing bodies, but to create products that kids ask for again and again. The mini meals and dippers are particularly concerning: tiny portions of processed meat paired with crackers and a sweet dip. The protein content is minimal. The sodium content is high. The refined carbs dominate. One serving might deliver less than 5 grams of protein, but over 300 milligrams of sodium and multiple grams of added sugar. The snack packs designed for lunchboxes follow the same formula: processed cheese, refined crackers, and something sweet to round it out. These combinations teach children to expect sweetness and softness in every meal, making it harder to introduce whole foods with more complex textures and flavors later. Parents trust that products marketed for children have their health in mind, but these foods are designed by marketing teams, not nutritionists. The primary goal is getting kids to want the product, not giving them what they need. It is a calculated system, and children are the target. But if kids' foods are this processed, imagine what happens when products promise high protein for adults. The next category reveals an even more sophisticated form of food marketing: 6. High-protein convenience foods. Protein is the magic word in modern food marketing. Slap it on a label and suddenly the product seems healthier, more substantial, worth the premium price. But many high-protein convenience foods at Target are delivering those numbers through ingredient tricks rather than genuine quality. The wraps, bowls, and snack packs that advertise protein content often rely on protein isolates and concentrates. These are highly processed extractions from soy, pea, or whey that boost the number on the label without delivering the complete nutritional profile of whole food protein sources. You get the grams, but miss the cofactors, the fiber, the vitamins that come with eating actual chicken, eggs, or legumes. The bars are even more engineered. Protein bars frequently contain sugar alcohols, artificial sweeteners, and binding agents that can cause digestive discomfort. The protein itself often comes from cheap sources like collagen or heavily processed whey, padded out with fillers to reach the advertised count. Meanwhile, sodium levels remain high. One protein snack pack can deliver 370 milligrams of sodium alongside its protein, plus preservatives and stabilizers that extend shelf life at the cost of ingredient quality. The protein numbers look impressive on the front of the package, but the ingredient list on the back tells a different story: isolates, concentrates, fillers, and sodium. These products are optimized for marketing claims, not metabolic benefit. And if protein products are this compromised, what about something as straightforward as deli meat? The answer might disturb you. 5. Budget deli and ready-cooked meats. Sliced meats, rotisserie chicken, and pre-cooked options seem like smart shortcuts. Protein without the prep work. Convenience without the cooking. But budget deli meats and ready-cooked proteins hide a range of processing concerns that most shoppers never consider. The sliced deli meats from store brands are typically injected with solutions containing water, salt, sodium phosphate, and various preservatives. That injection adds weight, which means you are paying meat prices for added liquid. It also introduces chemicals designed to extend shelf life and maintain a pink, appetizing color long after the meat would naturally fade. Sodium levels in these products are severe. A 2-ounce serving of processed turkey can contain over 700 milligrams of sodium. That is nearly a third of your daily limit before you add bread, condiments, or anything else to your sandwich. The preservatives include sodium nitrite, linked to increased cancer risk when consumed regularly, and sodium erythorbate, used to accelerate the curing process. Even the rotisserie chickens are not as simple as they appear. Many are injected with flavor solutions containing sodium phosphate and modified food starches. The skin is often treated to maintain crispness during the hours it sits under heat lamps. What looks like simple roasted chicken is actually an engineered product designed to survive the retail environment. These meats behave differently when stored or reheated precisely because of these added solutions. They are not whole foods. They are processed proteins dressed up as convenience. And the processing only intensifies when we move to chilled prepared meals, because this is where fresh becomes pure illusion. 4. Chilled prepared meals. The refrigerated meal section promises restaurant quality at home, pasta trays, stir-fry kits, and heat and eat dinners arranged in attractive packaging that suggests freshness and care. But these chilled prepared meals reveal a gap between marketing and reality that most shoppers never notice. The fundamental challenge with these products is logistics. They need to be prepared in a central facility, shipped across the country, distributed to stores, and sit in refrigerated cases for days before you buy them. Every step requires compromises that affect what ends up on your plate. The pasta dishes often arrive pre-cooked and bathed in sauces loaded with stabilizers. Modified starches keep noodles from clumping. Acidifiers maintain the sauce consistency. Sodium preserves everything while masking the taste degradation that happens over time. One chicken tikka masala product from Good and Gather was reported by customers to taste like it had no flavor despite containing over 1,500 milligrams of sodium across the package. That sodium is not adding taste, it is fighting the blandness created by processing and time. The stir-fry kits face similar issues. Vegetables are pre-cut and treated to prevent browning. Proteins are pre-cooked and stabilized. Sauces are formulated to taste consistent regardless of how long they have been sitting. Freshness is simulated, not actual. These meals are built to survive logistics rather than satisfy appetites. What arrives on your plate has been engineered for consistency and shelf stability, not for the flavor and nutrition you expect when buying fresh prepared food. And if animal-based convenience foods are this processed, wait until you discover what is hiding in the plant-based alternatives. 3. Plant-based convenience foods. The plant-based section feels virtuous. Meatless nuggets, dairy-free meals, and frozen alternatives that promise sustainability alongside health benefits. But many store brand plant-based products are among the most ultra-processed items in the entire store. The meatless ground, nuggets, and patties often start with pea protein isolate or soy protein concentrate. These are highly refined extractions that require significant industrial processing to create. Then come the oils, typically sunflower or coconut, added in quantities that push fat content higher than many people expect from plant-based eating. The ingredient lists tell the story. Methyl cellulose for texture, natural flavors to simulate meat taste, various gums and stabilizers to hold everything together. One plant-based chicken tender product from Good & Gather was noted by reviewers as being packed with sodium despite its healthy positioning. The sodium is not optional. Without it, these products would taste flat and unappealing because they lack the inherent flavor compounds that real meat provides. The frozen plant-based meals follow the same pattern. Bases of refined starches, topped with sauces engineered for shelf stability. The vegetables are minimal. The protein comes from isolates. The overall experience is eating processed food that happens to avoid animal ingredients. Plant-based does not automatically mean healthy. Many of these products are ultra-processed foods that simply swap animal inputs for heavily refined plant alternatives. The processing concerns remain. The sodium remains high. The ingredient lists remain long. And speaking of ingredient lists, the dessert and baking aisle takes processing to another level entirely. 2. Ultra-budget baking and dessert. Items cakes, cookies, doughs, and dessert pots. The Favorite Day brand and other budget dessert options look indulgent on the shelf and cost remarkably little at checkout. But that low price point reveals itself in ingredient lists that read like chemistry experiments. Sugar is typically the first or second ingredient. But it does not stop there. High fructose corn syrup, invert sugar, corn syrup, and dextrose often appear alongside standard sugar, multiplying the sweetness sources and making it nearly impossible to track total sugar intake. One sugar cookie kit was calculated to be 47% sugar by weight, containing 4 teaspoons of added sugar per serving. The fats come from palm oil and vegetable shortening, cheap ingredients associated with inflammatory responses and cardiovascular concerns. The textures are engineered through emulsifiers like mono and diglycerides, which can contain trace amounts of trans fats even when the label shows 0. The colors come from artificial dyes: red 40, yellow 5, blue 1, titanium dioxide. These are cosmetic additions that make products look more appealing while contributing nothing to flavor or nutrition. Several have faced scrutiny for potential behavioral effects in children. The preservatives extend shelf life indefinitely. Potassium sorbate, sodium benzoate, BHT. These products can sit on shelves for months because they are designed for longevity, not freshness. You are paying for texture, color, and sweetness manufactured at the lowest possible cost. What you are not getting is anything resembling real baked goods. And this brings us to the number one spot where everything we have discussed comes together into a single, unavoidable truth. Because number one isn't a product, it's the system. 1. Target's cheapest own brand staples. Here it is, the final entry. Not a single product category, but a pattern that runs through everything we have discussed. Target's cheapest own brand staples across every aisle reveal what happens when extreme cost-cutting becomes the primary goal. The lowest priced tire products share consistent characteristics. Ingredient lists that stretch far longer than necessary. Refined flours and starches as primary bases. Cheap vegetable oils instead of quality fats. Sodium levels that push toward daily limits in single servings. Preservatives that extend shelf life at the expense of food quality. These products are not designed with your nutrition in mind. They are designed to hit a price point. Every formulation decision, from the protein sources to the stabilizers to the flavor systems, is made to minimize production costs while maintaining just enough quality to avoid complaints. The pattern is visible once you know what to look for. The budget pasta sauce with sugar as a top ingredient. The store brand bread with dozens of additives. The frozen vegetables with added sodium solutions. The snacks with textures engineered for overconsumption. This is not about occasional indulgence or budget-conscious shopping. This is about a systematic approach to food production that prioritizes margin over nourishment. When you buy the cheapest option, you are buying the compromises that made that price possible. The food industry has learned that most shoppers do not read ingredient lists. They trust the branding. They trust the store. But affordable often means processed, preserved, and optimized for profit rather than health. The choice is yours. Now you know what is actually in those products and what that low price really costs.